I am at the Rainbow Retreat Lodge with a pretty cool lady. Pretty excited about this, Dr. Amanda Tavoularis. She's a dentist here and practiced in Linwood, correct? And
Yes.
so this is kind of a pretty unique interview because as people have known me or if they don't know me, I've had a partner for 22 years, Deb Castillo, which some of you worked with or maybe know. And so I always, to stay with someone for 22 years is huge, a blessing. And so my wife would always say, Christy, like, well, Deb's like getting up there in age, and Deb always told people her age. She didn't care. She's 70.
She doesn't look it.
Yeah, she doesn't look. She's 73, and it's like, what are you gonna do, Mark? She'd always, every 6 months, what are you gonna do when Deb's not? And I said, remember, Christy, Deb always said it will be revealed. It's like, when Deb retires, what kind of work are you going to do? She's always like, are you going to still bring in the income? Are you going to still? And I'm like, you know what? I mean, I'm just saying this and that, but when one door closes, another one opens.
Yes.
And I believe that. I believe God opens doors and people come into your life for a reason. And so anyway, Dr. Amanda Tavoularis I've known for a long time because Dr. Gottlieb
Yep.
introduced us when you were first starting your own practice. And I did your analysis, and you luckily ended up working with Deb. And then you two became sisters. The one thing about Deb is she never, it's hard for her to let go of clients that we worked with. And then you two became very close. And then she ended up working with you, like our contract was for 14 months or 12, 14 months. She ended up working with you for 14 years.
Pretty much.
And just coaching, mentoring, not charging. It was more of she's a caring person like you, and wanted people to succeed. And you helped us, Deb and I, you talked to other people about our company and what we did and the difference and how it changed your life and your practice. And so the cool thing, this is kind of a surprise, was that you sold your practice, right? How many months ago? 6 months ago?
Little over, yeah. It was April 2021. Yeah.
And do you mind sharing your age? Are you okay with
Yeah,
that?
54.
Okay, so
Yes,
you sold
proud
your
54.
practice at 54, which is
Yeah.
a lot of dentists would
Everyone
say.
said, you're too young. You're too young. I'm like,
well, but that other dentist would
yeah.
say, oh my gosh, I wish I could stop.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I'm not there financially and so
Right.
forth, and I can't do that right now. I have to practice another 10 years or 15 years, or they're burnt out, or
Right.
they don't know what is possible for them in their practice with their team, and feel like, you know what, I just don't like it anymore.
Right.
And you went through that.
Totally.
And we all do.
We all
and
do.
Then, but you worked with Deb and worked with the systems and with your team, and then you ended up selling your practice.
Well, I think the systems give you the choices.
Right.
Right. So without the work that you and Deb did, and Deb did again and again and again with me, it was lovely to have her come back in. If a team changed over, she would come back and help me. But without those systems in place, I wouldn't have the profitability or the choices to say, I'm in a good position. And I will always love dentistry. I am still crazy passionate about, my craft. But it was a time to make a change. For me, just
exactly.
not for everybody. Like we're
And
talking.
you just have a child now, and it's kind of cool. And and I think so. Anyway, the reason I'm excited and it's kind of unique is that Amanda sold your practice, and then out of the blue, Deb called me one morning and said, "Hey, guess who I just talked to?" And I said, "I don't know, who's my best girlfriend who buys purses and shoes and everything." And I said, "Amanda?" Well, she called me and said that she wants to be a coach and work with clients. And I'm like, what, really? She's like, yeah. She goes, what do you think of that? Why do you think that would be something you'd be? I said, are you kidding me? She's amazing. She's a Koi's teacher, mentor. She knows all about the hardships of dentistry, the ups and downs, the technical side, and the difficulties there, the team, losing team members, hiring people. I mean, to have someone that can go into a practice that's not just a consultant, but has done has been in the grind and can go into a practice and then share what they learn through all the work that you've been doing for 20 years on trying to make your practice more profitable and being a better clinician and trying to help your patients get healthier. It's like, wow, that would be huge. And so when I got off the phone with Deb and then we talked, and I said, okay, Christy, guess what? My wife, I said, I think there'd be a Deb succession and someone that can carry on, because I'm 61. And I told my wife, I'm going to keep doing this for 10 more years minimum. I mean, I love the work. I mean, my best friends are dentists. I mean, I never would have thought that in my life when I was 17. Oh, someone said, your best friends in life are going to be dentists. I'm like, what? You're crazy. Dentists
We're
are
good
crazy.
people.
Yeah,
We're good people.
exactly. So I wanted to take a couple minutes for you just to share your why and like your transition now and why you wanted to maybe work with me and you. And I mean, like you said last night to the group, which I thought was really beautiful, is like to carry on the legacy of what Deb has done for you and then share what you've learned from her and keep that going, keep the torch going. And you weren't at the Entrepreneurial Summit, but I did a dedication for Deb, and one of the songs was Passing the Torch. So like Deb is passing the torch to you. She's mentoring you now. You're going through trainings with her. She's giving you everything she's learned in 30 years. And what a blessing, because, and then she'll even help mentor future dentists with you to support you over the next year or two.
Which is phenomenal. I'm very grateful. Very grateful, because it's so much. There's so much. But speaking to, I was trying to figure out, the essence of what I feel like, Deb provided in my practice. I've always wanted to get clear on how do I as a dentist give the very best care. And to do that, I need to eliminate white noise, and I need to go into a zone and focus, and we've got our loops on, and I need to not have, a three-ring circus behind me or around me. And she, with her systems that you guys have developed, just help me see clarity of I want to be focused on that patient, and then to move to the next patient that I want to be focused on. To do that, I need a very highly tuned team to support me in that effort. Because it takes them understanding each dentist's mission, right? In my practice, it was I need that peace and quiet. I need that time with them. Whatever it is for each individual dentist. But that's the beauty of what you and Deb provided, though, is an individualized, she's come into my practice, you've come into my practice and figured out, how did I work? Who am I as a leader? It's like I'm inspirational, I'm going to do this, but I'm going to have other weak points that, I need to know about, right? She does great, analysis to help me figure out where are my strengths and weaknesses, and how do I pump up those weaknesses, right? Or eliminate, right, if possible. I just think it's very important to figure out each person's needs. And until the dentist gets clear on their needs, which may be a process, right? That doesn't happen overnight. Certainly didn't happen when I was right out of dental school. But I got excited to kind of have one phase of dentistry shift. In dentistry also, I should mention, I thought I needed like a partner. I always wanted someone I could bounce ideas off of, because our spouses don't know what we go through. They'll try, but there's a limit to what they can absorb and appreciate, right? So I always thought, okay, partnership, but that's messy. Partnerships, most are not, as successful as we'd like them to be. I felt like Deb and she's an amazing partner, and I could tell her and be vulnerable with her and say, this doesn't work. And then she could help me figure out solutions.
Well, I think the cool thing in our work is, and your core values and philosophy is aligned with Deb, and with gigs, like I said to you, I'm not going to change. We're only going to work with 8 or 10 practices a year, and we're not going to be trying to say we can help everybody.
Right.
And if you're going to go deep with a practice and work with them and really help them, like you said, individualized. Well, a lot of consultants say we're individualized, and they have 30, 40, or they're just trying to bring in more and more and make more money. That's fine. But if you want to go deep and, you've been successful, you're a dentist, you retired shortly for a short time, you've done well, you saved money, put away, you learned the profitability model. it's not like, oh, I have to sign up to work with 50 dentists. No, you can go out there and work with 3, 4, 5, 6 dentists and help them learn what you learned and help them create a little bit of freedom, like peace of mind. And I think the systems, systems is not a really sexy word. It doesn't get people excited. Let's just write some systems.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
But systems bring simplicity.
Yes.
And they bring power, clarity, like you said, clarity last night, right? That was your key word, clarity. And I think that's the beauty of principle-centered systems that can help you, stay in the game, give you new possibility, new eyes, new vision to see what I can create with my team, co-create. And that's the one thing I gave you yesterday, that there's 4 different coaches and there's expert mentor coaching, but there's a word called generative coaching. And a generative coach like you and Deb are, they co-create with the team. We don't come in like, oh, we have all the answers. Right. You're doing everything wrong. No, we're going to co-create to make things better because there's always a better way, right?
Right.
Just like John Coy's, like you went to Coy's and you can go to a week course with him or 4 days. He spent 10 years trying to figure it out and simplify everything for you in 4 days. And then you can go back and, wow, it took him like 10 years on his killing himself.
Yes.
But you can learn it. And that's the beauty and the power of models and mentors. I always tell my kids, man, if you can find a person who has a model systems and you can understand those, you can save so much stress and heartache. Not that it's perfect, but you being a dentist, paying the price, being in the grind and the joys, ups and downs, you can
resilient,
pass
right?
all
Resilient is a big important.
and you have the empathy. I think I think you brought that up, empathy, to be able to go into a practice. And I think as a dentist versus a consultant or a coach, where maybe they're a dental assistant or a hygienist, now they're a dental coach or consultant, you can come as a doctor. And not that but I think you have a higher level of respect, and you should, because you paid the price.
Seen more. Yeah.
And you've invested in your teams.
Yeah.
A lot, your people that work for you, and you know what that can create for others. And I'm just excited because you're full, you don't know what you can do. Like, you have so much that you can give that that you'll be able to help other practices with in the next. Hopefully we're together for 22 years like that, but not like that.
Yeah.
But that one thing.
I can do this a lot longer than dentistry.
Well, that one thing I shared yesterday about the most productive years of your life between 60 to 70, and the second to 70, and most people don't believe that.
It's fascinating.
So even dentists that are listening to this, maybe that are 50, 55, and they're thinking, no, I'm done. Well, no, there's
whole other phase.
Like my father-in-law always said, the most productive years for a dentist are between 55 and 65, but most of them want to quit. It's because 55 to 65, hopefully you've done pretty good, but you've gained trust with your patient base, and so when they come in to see you, I've been coming to you, doctor, for 20 years. If you tell me, I'm going to do it, the beauty of that aging and that wisdom, but you don't have to wait till you're 55, 60. There's dentists that are like, if you could work with a dentist that's 30, 35, 40 and save them all the time and energy trying to figure it out on their own, what a gift.
Completely. Priceless. Yeah. That is priceless. Yeah. And I really like, your message about, working with a few dentists, 6 to 8, whatever that number is a year, is very much in line with what I did in dentistry. Because I worked on 600, active patients for over 20 years. And that was
very well.
Very well. That was my formula, And you don't need a lot, you just need people that identify with your philosophy too.
Right. And so you learned through Deb, like the profitability model versus production, and then that you could actually slow down the practice, be more profitable,
less
engage
stress
with your patients more,
and team,
and create, something that's unique. And not that DSOs or whatever are bad. it's just most dentists I talk to, they went into dentistry to care about their patients and their team, and then they realize, well, all the other stuff and the competition today is very fierce. Insurance, fierce. I mean, taking more and more of the profits, and how do you move away from that? That's you can, stay in a health center, like Dr. Coyes talks about, and how can you do more comprehensive care and healing, be a healer, and not a hitman, And so I just want to say I'm excited. I have a new energy for the next 9 years for me, because we're going to be working together, and I know I already see what you can do. Even from last night's talk, I could see how you'll be able to help these dentists that we're blessed to work with in the future, and their teams, and be just like that, be someone who they can turn to, and you can give them wisdom and share, and you'll learn from them.
Completely.
Every practice that we've gone into, people say, "Oh, no, they've given us so much." You know what I mean? And you're going to find that too. You're going to, wow. You walk away and like, wow. They're feeding my soul, and we're helping them to, hopefully become better and be better for the world and better for themselves and their family and their kids. And what a cool thing, So
there's a neat saying of our neighbor across the street has that at her doorstep. We're just walking each other home. And I thought, that's so powerful, right? It's true. It's like, if we can help one another, we should. And I'd much rather pay for intelligence. Through my years, I paid for ignorance a couple times. I didn't like that. Much rather pay for intelligence.
That's a great line, because my mentor, Jim Rohn, who passed away, said, people say ignorance is bliss. He said, no, ignorance is stupidity.
Yes.
Because you don't want to be ignorant about things in life. You want to understand and go deeper.
Yes.
And so anyway, I just wanted to share that with people that are hopefully in the future that get to work with, that Dr. Amanda Tavoularis will be not a better version of Deb, just a
better
continual,
version of Deb. Just different, but Deb's phenomenal.
But just to carry on the work that we've done is cool.
Yes.
I mean, I want to see it carry on.
Yeah.
And a blessing out of the blue that you said you wanted to work with us. And
I'm thrilled. I'm excited. It's going to be fun. I just look forward to, how do you dig in? And, so many neat things people are doing these days too. Yeah. And just to help people on their path, and, one little light bulb goes on, that's pretty awesome.
Well, I just want to thank you for keeping me in the game.
And he did.
And so we can keep coming back here.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
This is your probably 10th time at this co-discovery retreat on case treatment planning. And you've been almost all of them. And that's the thing. Like, your depth of, most dentists that work with us may become the 1 or 2 or 3 of these, but you've been like 10 times.
Love it.
I bet I'm not saying this, but I bet yesterday you got a few nuggets.
I did every time. And I've heard Peter
awesome.
Fay's lecture over and over again, and I love that man, and I still get something out of it. Same Paul Falvey, you bring great speakers too, so it's fun.
It's been a blessing. And
well, thank you.
All right.
I'm grateful.
I appreciate it.